Good afternoon, viewers. It's a great day again to welcome every one of you from around the world, beginning with this beautiful country, Nigeria, from wherever you are right now. I say welcome to the POLITY on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. We're reaching you from the Abuja studio of KAFTAN television, and with me on set this afternoon are wonderful guests who I will be unveiling in a short while. But let me say that you will be part of this program in the course of time by calling on the show, and the number will be displayed after some time because we would want our guests to have opportunity to dissect the issues thoroughly before we begin to take calls from you. But please do know that your part is very important because our program is designed to be interactive. Our program is designed to carry Nigerians along, or the public, the viewers along from wherever you might want. We have had people call from Germany and all that. So please do get ready to be a part of this program. I'm glad to be here, and I'm very glad, even more glad, that you are there at the other end, because together we make this happen. And so today, my immediate right, you have Dr. Ilias, who is a development economist, and to my far right, Ashiwaju. Okay, let's be silent on the Ashiwaju. Bode Gbadebo, who is the online editor of Leadership Newspaper Group. Gentlemen, you're welcome.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Good to have you. This, incidentally, we also had exactly the same team some few weeks back, and it was a very scintillating time with them. So I can assure you that this edition will be something that you could call a bang. I can say that ahead of time. So quickly, we're talking about the fuel price, what I call conundrum, fuel price controversy. And we will be navigating the maze, the confusion. There's so much confusion around the fuel price right now. We're wondering, how did we, in fact, most Nigerians are wondering, how did we get here? I mean, obviously. So if I will start with Gbadebo, I would ask you, once upon a time, we were told that once the Dangote Refinery begins operations, prices will crash. Let me ask you, how much did you get fuel the last time that you got? And how recent was that?
Well, I bought fuel today on my way here at do from a black marketer.
All right. Okay.
At 1,200 naira.
1,200
per liter.
Per liter.
So that I can get here on time.
On time.
Yes.
There was no. I mean,
the product is not even available. So for where it is available, there are long queues. So if you have somewhere urgent to go, that means you may not have the luxury of time to stay back on the queue.
Doctor, how much did you buy the last?
Right. I think the last I bought was 980 naira, and as of today, my thoughts now, where am I going to get it now? Because
so it's not available.
About 7 days ago.
Oh, okay, that was 7 days ago.
Yes, 7 days ago.
And I mean, you know, many times it's difficult to believe that just a year ago, this same item sold for less than, is it correct, 200?
That should be
187.
197.
That should be 1 year, 4 months ago.
About 15 months ago.
Right,
yeah?
correct.
It sold for less than 200, and right now we're talking about over 1,000 naira. Okay, maybe somebody will say over 1,000 naira is not yet official, but again, it's official because
it's ongoing.
They already announced that for Abuja, the Dangote fuel will sell for 1,050, if I remember that correctly. So we're saying that we have had over 400% increase between May 29th and today. Yet the Dangote refinery is currently in operation. So that's the irony. That's a huge part of the confusion. So, Doctor, you are a development economist, and so we should ask you, what exactly is the economics? What kind of economics is going on right now?
Right, quite interesting. Well, first and foremost, I think Dangote coming to Nigeria, Dangote Refinery and petrochemical, I think is a blessing to Nigeria.
All right.
In all angles, because first and foremost, we have challenge of balance of trade and balance of payment,
right,
which has to do with and forex problem. So if you look at Dangote as an industry, let's look at it from that perspective, as a gigantic industry at that, you know, coming to Nigerian soil, it's a good one because it's going to help us in terms of forex, it's going to help us in terms of employment. In fact, a lot of things are advantage, but that Dangote will reduce the cost of fuel. It's not correct.
It's not correct?
It's not correct at all, because Dangote is a businessman and every business wants to make profit. Beyond that too, to have such gigantic building or industry, you must have gotten money from banks,
yeah,
right? You must have engaged, and it is in a global business where the price of that commodity is determined globally. So you don't expect Dangote to be a Father Christmas or to come and work in cahoots with federal government, and that is why we are saying what we are saying now.
Yeah, but it was the wisdom, was the calculation not that the fact that it will be refined locally will ensure that some cost elements are no longer there. For example, you didn't have to now pay import duty or whatever cost, landing cost. You didn't have to pay landing cost once it's being refined locally, and that's a huge percentage of the entire cost. So if that is not there, shouldn't the costs
that assumption would have been a long run, but now it appeared to be utopia. Because why I say long run, it is when the competition comes in that Dangote will have that decision. And are we likely to have competition? That's another question. So you see that Dangote and federal government are having back and forth. What brings about that is the issue of competition. Now, you want to control Dangote, but you don't have anything to use to control Dangote. Because as a government, you must have your own enterprise. Your enterprise will now be controlling other people that want to compete in the market.
But by setting your own price.
Right, by so doing. So, I think we have a refinery working. You now say, okay, Dangote, this is the price. You will be determining the price for Dangote. Dangote will now say, okay, let me key into what you are doing. Just like what we have in telecos. There is competition. Even though they want to be cartel, we use regulatory body, in this case, NNPCL, to control it. But in this case, it is something different. You cannot compare that because there is no competition. Perhaps, if you want to determine price for Dangote, you will recall that Dangote said, and I quote, I am waiting for the federal government and NNPC, FEC specifically, to determine my price.
Yeah.
That is a signal. And the signal is that I want to sell in the global, I want to sell a global price for Nigeria. Government, are you there to subsidize? I am waiting for you. That's the meaning.
No, but they have also argued that this first consignment of crude they got from NNPC,
right?
They bought this first consignment with foreign exchange,
right?
And that's the reason why they have to try and recover their costs and make something, because it's based on forex, and that the subsequent consignments which will come from NNPC will be lower. The cost to the common man will be the pump price will be lower. But I'm saying, should we have a situation in the first instance where NNPCL becomes the only off-taker, the sole off-taker? Are we not shutting the door? Are we not narrowing? Is that not the reason why we're in this situation?
Right. I'd like to take you back to the first agreement. I don't know if you see the agreement. The Dangote actually said he wants to give federal government 20%. Recall?
Yes.
That was the agreement.
Yes.
Federal government 20% of this company.
Yes.
Are you also aware that Dangote came out and said their percentage has reduced to 12%?
That's correct. Yes.
Right. So having said so, Dangote now need 6 consignments in a year in this refinery. Federal government is now saying, I can only offer you 2. And the first one is coming in October. Dangote have to go out
and
get. That simply means if I get commodity from outside, I'm going to use global price. So if I use global price, you are the one that will cushion it. They call it shortfall. They call it a lot of language subsidy. So Dangote is expecting
under
recovery, different language. So Dangote is expecting federal government. I want to sell at 1,117 global price. If you love your people so much, buy from me only you and sell at is it 895 or any price you want to.
Which takes us back to the regime of subsidy.
That is what actually subsidy has been ongoing. It's just the nomenclature that actually matters.
So this time around, it will be there will be no hiding about it. It will no longer be.
I don't want us to preempt what will happen October 1st. There's a lot of condition around it. That if it is when you sell to me in naira that I'm going to, we have to wait for that time, because the fact remains that I can tell you that it's as if NNPC is now an enterprise that also wants to make profit.
Exactly. So
that is the problem.
Okay, I do understand that it's both a regulatory body and also a player. In fact, there's a structural problem too. Exactly. NNPC shouldn't determine price. It should be NNPPRA. But contradiction. Is there a difference between 6 pence and half a dozen? Well, the fact is, if it's coming from NNPPRA, we have seen the side is NNPCL, right? And so if you say you should allow NNPPRA to do their job. Well, that may just be a question of semantics. Editor, Bode, what's the attraction for some time now? Because I believe that that's a part of the problem. What's the attraction for the past 9 years of the APC regime? The office of the petroleum minister has rested with the president. Is that correct? Now, what is the attraction and what value has this brought us? Is there any value addition because the position rests with the president? Because maybe I should take it further. If I put three together at once, I trust that as a renowned journalist, you'll be able to handle them together. Now, shouldn't the president recuse himself at this point so that he can look at the sector more dispassionately and more clearly, and to be able to take whatever action is necessary to clear whatever mess that we're in?
Well, the answer to your question is not far-fetched. The attraction to that office is simply corruption. The bogus lifestyles you have been seeing being exhibited by our political office holders is only funded by oil money. Because that's the only place where you can get quick money. So, for Buhari's 8 years, he claimed he was Minister of Petroleum Resources. Right. He didn't take any responsibility. No. Tinubu is there for over a year. He didn't expressly claim to be Minister of Petroleum Resources. Okay. But he appointed two persons
who are ministers of state
as junior ministers.
Right.
In that ministry.
So invariably, impliedly,
where is the senior minister? You understand? And your guess is as good as mine. Now, I think Dr. Ilias has spoken as a economist that he is. Yes. I will speak as a media practitioner. Yeah. So that our viewers will actually understand where we are, why we're where we are. Right. The argument every day has neither been here nor there. People don't really understand what's happening. The politics of petrol pump price. Even me, as I ask myself, why all this?
Lost many times.
In fact, on Sunday there was confusion, there was frenzy. Oh, we bought fuel from Dangote at 897. Oh, it must be sold at this one. And Nigerians are saying, we thought with a local refinery,
the price should come.
Pump price will now be 100. You understand?
Even if it's not 100.
Don't blame anybody. Right, and I'll tell you why. See, President Tinubu is at the heart of this problem. That's the cause of the matter, I'm telling you. This is public television.
Yes.
The president is responsible. But I don't know whether it is intentional
or whether it is
just an oversight. Maybe it was misadvised, ill-advised or something. The genesis is May 29, 2023.
Right.
The inaugural day of President Bola Tinubu. Truth be told, and economics is here. petrol subsidy removal was inevitable.
Right, yes, we all agree.
But for ordinary Nigerians, they don't agree. Again, I will tell you, don't blame them. No proper education to tell them why we don't need fuel subsidy. Nobody is telling anybody. The ordinary Nigerian on the street, they don't know, and nobody is telling them. All what they hear every day is, see, it's not sustainable, we have to remove it, and it is gone, it is gone. You don't do that. In a constitutional democracy, one of the ingredients of democracy is transparency, accountability.
So there should be a lot more
It's
communication.
lacking. That's why we are where we are today. Now, the subsidy was removed, fine.
Yeah.
And I said it was inevitable because the bogus amount of money we're spending was not sustainable. And the reasons are not far-fetched. At a time, Nigerian oil production capacity dipped from over 2 million barrels per day to a little over 1 million barrels per day. What does that tell you? Oil revenue has reduced.
Definitely.
But importation, cost of importation is high. We can't fund that. So they put it together to say, okay, we don't need subsidy. Because Nigerian annual budget, about 65% always goes to debt servicing.
In fact, under Buhari, it was like 90-something%.
Debt servicing.
Yeah.
We've been battling with budget deficit year in, year out. So you can see that it's a lifestyle that we cannot continue with. I mean the oil subsidy regime.
Right.
But having removed it, yes. What kind of information did you relay to Nigerians? Why it was removed? And the step to be taken to ameliorate
Exactly.
their accompanying pains. Oh, they say, oh, with a local refinery like Dangote, all will be well. It's a lie. Doctor said something like that.
Yeah, he said so.
It's a lie. Having Dangote does not necessarily, does not translate to a cheaper petrol.
That's
No!
the reality we're being faced with now.
Yes, and the truth is the truth. No! Having Dangote or more Dangotes is to guarantee fuel security, availability, not
price.
no,
Not price cost.
yes.
Now, if are you saying I can understand if you say that for now, because Dangote is having to source crude oil from abroad, I can understand that. But, and I'm sure that most Nigerians will understand.
And we should be asking ourselves, why should Dangote source crude oil
from abroad? That's
from abroad? Nobody's talking about that.
And then two, are we still saying, doctor, that even if it is sourced locally, we will not get a time when price can come to around 300, 400?
Right. We are missing out something which is very, very key. You see, first subsidy removal is not the major problem. Naira flotation,
The implementation,
evaluation of Naira, that's the major problem. You don't bring two variables. Do you know that all the benefit you're supposed to get from subsidy removal has been eroded by flotation?
exactly.
In fact, if you give a governor, before they share 600 billion, now they share 1.3 trillion. No. Is there any difference?
No, is the difference not is it not flowing into corruption? That's what several persons have made.
Let's even bring it beyond corruption.
Okay,
It cannot have value addition to Nigerians because of the expenses. If you earn 100,000 naira before now, is it not a good money? At least you can buy fuel, feed the house, and at least
but the same 100,000 now is
just go to filling station, then you would have expended
the entire
50% of it.
Exactly.
So these are the problems.
There
So
are vehicles that need about 75,000 naira to get filled.
Dangote, for me to benefit Dangote, honestly, there must be competition.
So there must be more.
There must be competition.
Now, when we talk this way, I think that because for about 20 years or thereabout, refineries have not been fixed.
About 3 decades.
Fourth Republic generally.
Now, you can now imagine that what we're saying from this is that there probably is a well-scripted agenda to kill the refineries so that the private sector can take over the entire business. And then just the same way that, for example, education has been taken over by private schools and all that. People have made this point before now, and I think that this is exactly what is playing out. Oh, what do you have to say?
Yeah, but not for liberalization purpose.
Not for, so what would the purpose
just
be?
For rent seeking, corruption.
Rent seeking.
For some persons to just have their pocket
lined up
with money, not for benefit of I and you. So that's where the problem is. And who has the capacity to put a stop is the government. Who is guilty of this? The government. People in government. So they have to come clean as to communication of their policies, how Nigerians will benefit. And we have to be told the truth that having Dangote, like I said earlier,
or even more Dangotes, like you said,
yes, does not mean cheaper fuel, but fuel security.
Fuel availability.
Then there must be investment in other critical energy infrastructure. Then we also explore the Nigerian's energy mix, especially renewable energy.
Now, there's a whole lot, and I'm happy that we have an economist in the house. Now, there's this person, I'm sure you have listened to him several times, who has been crusading. It's a kind of a crusade that there has to be energy security.
Yes.
Majid
Dayo
has said that in most countries, even of the West, where they promote everything that is being currently done here, that they ensure that there is some level of energy subsidy in whatever form. It's either there's subsidy for petroleum, or there's subsidy for electricity, or there's subsidy. So
education
somehow.
Yeah.
So, but in a situation where all subsidies tend to be removed, apart from, okay, in recent times we have also heard that there's still some subsidy being paid concerning petrol. Now, what do we, I mean, so there's a school of thought that's saying, let's go back to, let's be total about it. Let's go back and proudly say that we have reinstated subsidy, right, and make it bigger and make life comfortable for the average Nigerian.
No country, no developed country globally that does not have element of subsidy. Right. You must come with
one area or the other.
America agriculture, they are very keen in that area. Now, what is even energy security? Basically, for every country to survive in terms of industry, there must be energy.
Exactly.
So I want to talk about energy. Is the lifeblood of every business.
Yeah.
And household,
even household,
small business. You know, do you know what it means to barb your hair in city center? Do you know how much it is? I'm sure
yes.
I patronize once in a while because of my style. So those that have to like shape it very well, they know how
regularly, maybe weekly.
Particularly you know what it takes.
Yeah.
So now, looking at it now, there is need for us to ensure we have energy security. But why is petroleum energy security is peculiar to Nigeria? We own the oil.
Exactly.
So it is rational
that you should expect.
You gravitate towards what you
have strength, you have advantage.
Go and check the it. How many countries that have oil that is paying this, how much we are paying? Go and check. Someone tried to claim that, no, they also pay high. Show me. The fact remains that once you have something, it is assumed. And that is where Dangote is coming now.
You benefit from it.
Dangote is expected to kill about 40% of forex that we need in Nigeria because of his industry. If he supplied oil, crude oil, locally,
yeah,
that is the expectation. Then our forex will now boost. Balance of trade will move.
Improve.
Balance of payment will move. Employment comes in. GDP increase. These are the benefits of Dangote. But that Dangote will reduce price. Okay, let's just dissect Dangote, because it's like Dangote like NNPC. Everybody wants to balance their own parts. But Dangote is a well businessman that we've known before now. Please, can you tell me the history of Dangote in terms of cement? How many other, I don't want to mention name. I can mention 5 cement companies that are not in existence again. And they precede him in this business. So as a businessman, you want to have the monopoly power so that you can control what actually happens. The only thing that can stop Dangote, you recall that Bua is also coming in oil industry.
Yeah, I think it's building a refinery somewhere in
Apapa. We have also 5 modular refineries.
Yeah.
And these are the things. I think we have like 50 modular refineries. Each state have 2. You know, this one have 2. Why are they not giving such license? So the problem is that Dangote will continue, and in fact, for the next 10 years of Dangote company, is profit oriented. He wants to.
Of course, he has to pay back his loans.
Really break even. Perhaps
he has to pay back his
Dangote
loans.
is also under global player. Dangote have to listen to the global. Is it IOC?
The international oil.
You have to listen to them. So in terms of pricing, but if we get oil by ourselves, produce it in Port Harcourt, Kaduna Refinery, you can now say, okay, because it's Nigeria and it's Nigeria own oil, okay, let us reduce and sell at 400. That is when the possibility comes.
So it will not be up to you whether you want to go and buy Dangote, which will be
perhaps marketer. The marketer is also crying now. Marketer prefer to go out and buy diesel.
Independent marketers?
Yes, abroad than to buy from Dangote. Are you aware of that too?
So it's cheaper.
It's cheaper for them to go abroad. Now there's what we call economic of scale. There's what we call economic of scale. Economic of scale simply means that because you are buying plenty,
then you get
it cheap.
Yes.
So they will not say, as a marketer, let us all of us go to this particular country. They will sell cheaper for them. So do you want them to trade off a cheap product and come and buy expensive?
No, because I think the issue that gets thrown up by what you have just said is why would it be possible for them to get cheaper outside and then get it costlier?
Because of economic of scale.
So what is economic of scale? The economics of scale is the more that the more you get, I mean, that you try to acquire, then the less the price. Beyond
that too, our currency value is a problem. So sometimes we have what we call comparative advantage.
Yes.
So it is better you go to a particular country and buy gold than to buy in Nigeria. You know why? Maybe labor and what have you is better there.
Cheap.
Everything is better there for you. So why will you come to Nigeria? And that's why it is better to go to China. You know, they are our #1 trade partner now.
Yeah.
That is why you have to go there and buy. Are you aware that
mass production
in Ogun State is now being imported from China?
They're even going to food.
That is the economic of scale. And China have one thing that is working for them. You know what is working for them? If you are a Chinese business person, they make funds available for you in their country. They now follow you to the country you are going with what we call free trade zone. Do you know China has 2 free trade zones in Nigeria? Whereby when you still come to Nigeria, you still not pay anything. You still run business.
No excise duties, nothing.
So
there's a whole lot we're going to talk about after this break. Have you also the China? If we also look at what I'm trying to put across right now is the fact that government has a big role to play to ensure that these things don't play out the way they are playing out.
Exactly.
For example, the China that you mentioned, you find out that a lot of times they fill this country with substandard goods, and we're not standing up to it. And when I raised that a couple of weeks back, somebody said that also has
the word substandard
do with
can be further interrogated.
Really,
it is what you ask for
that you get,
that I supply you, and your chambers are everything.
And you have regulatory agencies.
That's what I'm saying.
China will say, I give you what you
what is their role? A minimum standard that is acceptable. Are these minimum standards being observed, being followed? We'll get back after this break, and we'll continue from there.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in abject 5%. Our young people, we broadcast the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
We found that the turnaround are not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines, Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. And join us again at 9
KAFTAN
p.m.
TV News. While wrapping up the day.
Welcome back. You're still on to the POLITY, coming to you live from KAFTAN Television, the Abuja studios, and we've been talking about the confusion around the fuel price currently being presented within the country. Hopes have been dashed, promises made that the moment Dangote Refinery comes alive, the price of the pump price of fuel will go down. It seems to be a mirage right now, and that's very troubling for the average Nigerian, and that's what we're talking about today. And from what we've talked about thus far, it looks as if those hopes are not likely to be realized in a long while. That might be very hard to receive, but that's the truth according to the analysts I have right here. Because according to them, Dangote is a businessman. He's not just going to dash out, quote unquote, his product. Now we continue, and I think that you can also make your call right now, 08029938365. It will be put on the screen. It's on the screen right now. And so you too can make a call, and let's hear your take, and so that together we can build the dream nation that we so much all desire. Now, Doctor, there's so much back and forth. You alluded to it a while ago. There's so much back and forth between Dangote, between an NNPC Limited. The NNPC says this one, Dangote says that one, and all that and all that. Is it not? I mean, is that what we deserve right now? Couldn't these things have been sorted out ever before Dangote came alive at all?
Right. If you study Dangote very well, Dangote never came out to tell us about how much it's going to sell aviation for. Was it negotiated? Does it come to the front burner?
Yeah,
petrol
is the issue.
They don't talk about tell us about diesel. So why
this one?
Why this one? So the fact remains that Dangote actually have its own objective. Ideally, in a free market enterprise, Dangote should sell to marketers, marketers should sell to Nigeria.
Good.
That's the ideal thing.
So what exactly is the reason behind NNPC getting in the way?
Thank you. Now, Dangote wanted to sell at global price. You agree with me? Dangote got this crude oil at global price. So he now wants to sell it at global price. The federal government now said no. We need to look into it, sell to only us. They are also doing that, looking forward to when they will start selling to him in Naira. You know, they want to capture from now.
Yeah.
He now said no, he wants to sell to FEC. You know, he said he's waiting for FEC. He came out to say it. And he also said he's waiting for NNPC. So now, as it were now, NNPC have also seen it. They saw the danger in it also, because, you know, this man wants to break even. Yes, we want to control this man. They now said no, bring it to us, but this is the price. You can see there's a price template.
Exactly, yes.
There's not a price template for Lagos,
for Maiduguri,
for Abuja,
for September only.
For September only. So that's simply
so it will get worse or better.
Now they want to have control of it. Recall that they are still importing.
For now.
So as a Dangote as a businessman, he's saying that what I have is sufficient for Nigeria. Why are you importing? They now said no. If we don't import, we won't have way of checking.
I don't even want to. I don't even want to believe that.
So that's another thing. So it's a serious back and forth. But for me, let us go back to our regulatory body and ultimately the Minister of Petroleum. They are to intervene and not let Nigerians even see all this. What we are saying, it's not supposed to be for our consumption.
It's not exactly.
So I think you still go back to NNPC. They should do the needful and make sure they cushion the effects no matter what. Like I told you earlier, the problem is not the first subsidy remover, it is the naira floating. So in future, invariably we'll be seeing like this. Because if you look at global price now, it has fallen to $77, right? So from $80, that's oil, crude oil, we expect it to reflect on the same.
In fact, naira has lost about 240% in value since the naira floating policy by Tinubu started.
So for me, I think where President Tinubu got it wrong is that naira floating, because
simultaneously
at the same time subsidy removal at the same time. So what the gain of first subsidy removal has just been wiped off. So there's nothing. Even they themselves, they are expending more compared to what they are doing before. So what is the gain? And that's why we said those policies are premature.
That is the naira flotation.
It's premature. Let me
but the subsidy removal is not premature.
I said it was inevitable.
You know it's inevitable, like you said. But the problem is that if you call President Muhammad Buhari says something about 3 things that will happen before first subsidy removal. Number 1,
building of
refinery will work. Number 2, CNG. As at last week, I've been parading a particular company to convert my car. They said I will pay 730,000.
730,000.
That is it now. In fact, I can tell you I'm ready. You know why? I would have break even in 2 months, 2 weeks. Yes, I expended 50,000 every week. If you multiply it by 3 months, I am done.
Yeah.
Then I will now have to buy CNG
use something cheaper.
for 13,000 compared to 50,000. You see,
13,000 for a week.
For a week compared to 50,000. That's economical.
Makes sense,
but you know the problem now. The bottleneck to even convert vehicle, it's a problem. Before I went to a particular one along Airport Road, they said no material. Now another one said there is material. I went there, they said I have to fill the form. I filled the form. They have been calling, begging, give me account, let me even pay. They said there is queue. Ironically, those that have converted now are also queuing for CNG. It's not available. It's not available. So these are the things that's why that will show that even the government
is not ready.
So it's the groundwork I said they refuse to do before the implementation that make the implementation of the fuel subsidy removal very, very faulty.
So there's so much that should have preceded even the subsidy.
Exactly.
Because I do recall, I think a few days back, Peter Obi was saying that indeed he would have removed fuel subsidy.
Atiku also promised. Even Atiku promised.
There's only one person among all the presidential candidates that does not.
But Adewale said.
Okay.
Adewale was the only one. Adewale, yes. Adewale said, I will not remove fuel subsidy. It's a contradiction. He said so. Others said they will remove.
Very good. Now, and the dean of that stand is getting louder and louder because of what we have seen in the last 1 year. Contrary to the hopes that were peddled prior to implementation. So Peter Obi was saying that he would have removed subsidy, but not on the first day, not that way. Now, when you talk about Buhari saying that 3 things needed to be done, he had 8 years to do that.
He didn't.
So what is the argument?
You see, it's so pathetic that we have started thinking the last government is always better than the new
it has become.
See, you must recall that President Muhammadu Buhari did naira flotation in 2017 within 2 weeks when he saw the way he bring it back. And that's why I call him a socialist president. And we are now having a capitalist president.
Who find it difficult to reverse anything.
You can see the two gap. You saw things going bad. What do? You rejig. You review your policy.
People, but it's not difficult to reverse.
But things, in fact, okay, we are crying that fuel is 6 something. It is now, so we are now praying that let it even come to 6. Not even go back to
900 or 1,000.
So these are the problems that we are actually having. So for me, I think all our suffering is just because of policy direction of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That's all.
Poor groundwork.
Yeah, and it could be
Poor
scripted.
planning.
It could be scripted, probably.
Exactly. You know,
because it could be diversionary. And I'll tell you why.
Why?
You know, initially I said the whole of this hula baloo, I call it fuel pump price politics. Now, nobody is talking about the promise to make the Port Harcourt refinery operational since December. Now, we are into the 9th month.
The date kept shifting.
Yeah, kept shifting.
After
They said August.
Even I didn't even promise Nigeria.
It could be diversionary.
So I don't.
Even minimum wage that was promised workers at the federal level. I'm aware some state governments have started paying. But at the federal level, the adjustments have not been effected. You know, a lot of confusion in the polity, like your program, to just make sure key issues are relegated to the background while we keep fighting ourselves. You won't take right when you stay on fuel queue for 10 hours.
You can't.
Millions of man hours have been lost daily. Millions that could be channeled into productive ventures. So do we have a government in place? Yes. Is that government functional? No.
Is
that government
to other ideas?
No. Is that government transparent? No. NNPC you keep talking about, it has to have business in the whole of this, yes. Because the regulator is into business at the same time a regulator. It's very odd.
Contradiction.
It's very odd.
Yeah.
But then, NNPC, how transparent is NNPC?
Itself.
Zero. So until the government come to realization that, oh, we need to communicate our policy direction to Nigerians. We need to then let them know the realities that transition, you know, the whole thing is also revolving around transitioning from biofuel to safe energy, cheaper energy. That it does not mean this transition will come
easy.
No, but we are trying to work to make sure that there is energy security.
So you are advocating that there has to be a lot more public enlightenment.
Exactly. Communication, strategic one for that matter. People must understand that we are not in for a tea party. It will be a long, bumpy ride. But at the end of the channel, at the end of the tunnel, there will be light.
But I don't think that will be enough, considering the very precarious state of the economy and what Nigerians currently face. Telling them that it's going to be a bumpy ride and all that, and there's nothing on ground to cushion the pain, will still not.
So why is the economy? Why is the economy precarious? Because there is no transparency. There is corruption.
Nigerians are sacrificing
already.
The federal
leaders are not
living
in opulence.
In fact, beyond fuel politics, what about the economy generally? So when you say we are having issue, what about the central banks of Nigeria? Have come about with about 40 policy, you know,
at the same time,
you know, try and error. You know, it's quite funny. No matter how bad we want to see Emefiele, was it not stable compared to this? You don't take everything away. I'm talking about
one fell swoop.
You don't take everything away. No. He brought about INERA. Where is the INERA? We said it will help the forex. Where is it? So a lot of things. I just think this president and his team are adamant to what they think work, not looking at the contemporary.
It probably is a
know-it-all
syndrome.
Yes,
a know-it-all syndrome.
Exactly. I know how dangerous that could be.
That does not brook any other.
That certain view. Yes,
and it's showing also in the fact that even protests are being criminalized as we speak.
Exactly.
And I think we all have to be extra careful, but we need to let the government know that the only way we can make proper, steady progress is to have feedback, and until it is understood that even protest is a form of feedback, there will be issues.
Exactly.
There will be issues.
Exactly.
And you know, I'd like to, at this point, take a break briefly, and then when we get back, we will progress from there. Welcome back. Now, so quickly, Doctor, let's move on as quickly. Okay, please excuse me. Let's take this call. Hello. Good evening already. Okay, good evening. Well, it's relative, isn't it? From Mina.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's have your take.
Actually, we have what you people are saying, because in my own view, it's like the government of nowadays, they don't even know where they're heading.
Is it possible for your volume to increase from your end?
Okay, from my phone?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, sir, can you hear me now?
Well, it's a little bit better.
Hello?
It's a little bit better.
So, I don't know, that is the only thing I can do as it is now.
Go ahead.
So, at least they would have come out with modality, because this thing, I don't think that they really have the massive mind. That is the actual speaking, because if we don't put fuel now in the country, they are easily higher than what they are importing to Nigeria. So, as time going on, what are they telling them? What are they going to tell people now? And how do they want people to live? People are really in danger. So, they should look at the people. They should consider the human being first, not their own interest. Because this infrastructure that they are talking about, we have been hearing this thing long ago. Nothing has been changing. It's only Abuja and some capital you see. Even the minimum wage they are talking about, the governors, there are some, like our state governor in Nigeria said here presently, he said he will not be able to pay minimum wage. But he kept on moving from another state. He doesn't say in the state capital. Then after 2 days, he has traveled to Abuja outside. Traveled to Abuja outside to Western Resort. But at the end of the government, at the end of the tenure now,
Ibrahim, I think it will be spurious to think that traveling around for a leader is wasting of resources. It might be part of his administration's work. As of today, by technology, you can do your work, almost all your work from around the world with technology. Yeah, so go on.
so you don't know why I'm saying this thing. When you are complaining, you don't have money to pay. You carry almost 30 cars moving up and
Okay,
down.
okay,
Before
okay.
that, they pay DTAH for what?
Okay.
Political appointee over more than almost 50 servants in the state. So these are most of the problems we are facing. I don't know. They're supposed to come down and put the people first before their own interest. What do they want again? They are already there. Nobody will say they cannot continue. It's God that gives power. Since they have gotten the power, legal or illegal, all we know, we pray for them for success. But let them consider this massive first.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you. Let's leave it there. Thank you so much for your call. Now, so you heard him,
Right.
that the government does not seem to be thinking about the people, and that it's very critical that something be done about that. Now, so doctor, is it so difficult? Is it so difficult to fix at least one of the refineries? I think I'd rather have Bode answer this. Is it so difficult to fix a refinery? No, because I asked this against the background that a private investor has been able to build from scratch his own refinery that is even being touted
as the largest,
as a salvation, as the salvation that were the lifeline that the entire nation is going to depend on. Is it, if a private investor can do this, is it so difficult? Are we so poor as a nation that we can't fix refineries?
We're not poor, but the question can be best answered by people in power. But I can tell you, corruption, like I keep saying from the beginning, is at the heart of the matter. Now, the money is not a problem, but then the situation benefits a clique or cabal. People keep enriching themselves with Nigerians, suffering. And that is why they want the refineries to be in a comatose state. Now, the president, like I said, had promised like 3 times now that Port Harcourt refinery will be operational by December. Later, they shifted the goalpost and nothing is happening. Now, they've scripted this crisis so that we can even forget that there was a promise. So, it's not possible. But the right question should be whether the people in power are willing to make it happen.
So it's a question of...
For more than 20 years, I've been hearing about turnaround maintenance contracts in all the refineries. They have got billions of dollars. This money returned to some Nigerians' pocket as kickbacks.
Let's quickly take this. Hello? Oh, no. Okay. So this money goes around and finally finds its destination.
So until you find a leader tomorrow who is actually assertive and ready to fight corruption head on, we will remain the way we are.
I like that statement, assertive.
Assertive, yes.
Very, very assertive.
Yes.
You know what? Even Dangote that came in now is trying to reinvigorate the strategy of not allowing the refinery to work. Because remember, we heard about blending blended in water. Right. Definitely, those people want to continue to supply Nigeria. Because some people are benefiting from those external supply compared to having our own refinery working. So they are bent on making sure that those refineries are not working. So how can we say we have been fixing one since about 2 years now? Remember, even if you want to build from the scratch,
exactly.
2 years.
This man could build from the scratch.
How many years?
And within a short period. Why is it that for 20 years we don't have any refinery?
Someone somewhere is making it not possible. That is just the language.
Because every government makes it even a campaign promise,
right,
that they will fix refineries. We heard it from Buhari, we heard it from Tinubu, and yet when they get there, you know, there was this.
Well, let's not forget
there was this thing that Ruben Abati wrote some years back, that there's some power of witchcraft in Aso Villa.
Okay, evil spirit or something.
Evil spirits, and when they get in,
the way you get there,
it's appearing like that. Please.
But that power, those spirits didn't affect Obasanjo.
Okay.
When Obasanjo came, remember,
he saw the. Okay. Hello. Hello. Yeah. Good afternoon. We can hear you, yes. Go ahead. Go ahead, please. Wow. All right. We'll take this break and see, so that we can see if there's a problem that we need to fix, so that you guys can call. We need you to make it through. Thank you very much.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Are young people we broadcast the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
We found that the general that is sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. You join us again at 9
KAFTAN
p.m.
TV News. While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in abject 5%. Are young people repurpose the harmony symphony?
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
We found that the 10 naira tax is not actually sufficient.
National foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. Join us again at 9
KAFTAN
p.m.
TV News.
Welcome back once again. You're still onto the POLITY, coming to you live from the Abuja studios of KAFTAN TV. My name is still Dayo Omoogun. With me, you have Dr. Ilias and also Bode Gbadebo, who is the online editor for Leadership Newspapers Group. We'll quickly take this and see what it's got. Hello? 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 Good afternoon.
How are you?
Very fine. I guess there's a problem with the network. Now, so we were talking about how swift it is that government can take certain decisions and how sluggish it can be when there's a lack of political will.
Yeah.
I think that something really needs to be done. And unfortunately, we're getting into a phase where you must not air your views.
Yeah.
Where you must not. Now, where do we go from here? What recommendations can we make to government? What ideas, Doctor, what can we put forward? Because we can't remain this way.
Right.
We can't remain this way. And we cannot afford to keep degenerating, because then we will be heading for a real crisis.
Right.
A crisis that will be spontaneous, that it might be difficult to handle. I mean, there's a point to which hunger will turn to violent anger. I mean, at least the last protest, they gave notice. But see, at a point you won't need anybody, you won't need any urbanization.
It could be spontaneous.
Exactly, there's a point to which people just by themselves on the street, because you can't be spending your entire salary, your 70,000 naira, to buy fuel. As it is, it's either, if you really want to, you could either do one of two things. Either that you spend, if you have a family of 6, you'll probably spend your 70,000 to buy a bag of rice and eat rice all through. And we have not talked about condiments for the stew or whatever.
It's more of rice government.
But that's not even good for you.
Which is very malnutrition. That's a problem on its own again. Or you buy fuel for your car and at least maintain your steez, but the steez won't last because hunger will perforate the steez. So we are left with we're in a very difficult situation, and I think that this is the time that the leaders must be very open to fresh ideas. Yeah. This is not opposition. It's not anything about pulling anybody down. It's about everybody making some progress. It's about having some relief. I mean, most people don't run their generators any longer. Most people don't run their cars any longer. Several car owners today join public transport. It's not getting, so we can't clearly keep going in this direction. Doctor, what should we be doing right now?
Thank you so much. I think we have issue. You recall that during President Muhammadu Buhari, there's a name we call National Assembly. Rubber stamp. So what do we call this current one? Because they seem to be docile more. Because it's part of their core responsibility. You know why? They get to see people more. They are close to people. They are to come to National Assembly and say, okay, in my constituency,
well,
these are my challenges I'm seeing. People are finding it difficult, my governors, this and that, but they're not even putting the case. So, because ideally, you're supposed to take all your grievances to your representative.
Yes.
You will come to the center
and
I'll say this, but we don't even see them talking. In fact, do you know the painful thing? We have new entrants, which are Labour Party. I was thinking that 30 Labour Party member in House of Rep, that's a voice, but we could not see them saying anything. They just agree as they send to. So it's a serious issue. That simply means it reflects that those who are representing us are they want to cater to their own immediate need. And when
of course, they are self-centered. So
that's
no two ways to
it means. Because if we have this level of hardship, and the other thing is coming from there, perhaps they should even say, okay, my constituency have this need, though, you must bring sugar. The president will now see that but it's as if the president is above someone who can even complain to. That's what it appears. And those people, and those head bad governance, upon all their efforts, they are still there. Is it in Kuji?
Yeah,
so they are not discouraging others that will go.
Exactly.
And
nobody wants to risk his life.
They're saying fearless October. I wonder who will come out for fearless. But ideally, what we call protest is always spontaneous. Right. You could see when they increased fuel price in Ilorin, there was a serious, Remember, they did not join
no.
But when the other one
was an isolated one.
So, this kind of thing may come. But I must tell you, there's a serious challenge. We are looking at fuel price. We are not looking at the other things.
We're not.
School fees is there because they will say, I recall they sent a particular school fees. The minute they increase, they now send another letter. Sorry, that's not the final addition. We are still
reviewing.
And it affects everything. Our income, 60% is going for food. Like 20% will go for fuel if you can afford to have a car. So what will you use to do rent and other things? And that is what is actually affecting. And it has future challenge.
Exactly.
Because going forward now, that means we will suffer from malnutrition, because by the time you eat rice 2-4 7 at a point you cannot even be able to consume.
Very will set in.
A lot of
for me, probably
issue.
we may have to resort to prayer.
And we love prayers a lot.
And the reason is not
far fetched. Renew hope.
When there's no even hope,
they say renew
no even hope. So there's nothing to renew. Now, why I'm talking about prayers is that it appears Nigeria's problems are defying all rational
You are beginning to agree with a religious leader who said our problems are spiritual.
Yeah, it may not be far from the truth, because all solution is defying all solutions, and I'll tell you why. The government even appear confused. For every problem, they begin to go and promise people rice. The vice president was in Borno to provide support for victims of the flood disaster. He was promising rice. The first issue will be, what happened to that Aliyu dam? Why did that happen?
It happened 30 years ago, the same magnitude, no solution.
So what do we do that it will not happen again? They were promising rice. But something embarrassing happened today. As I was coming here, I got a press statement from the office of the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and he was praising President Tinubu for visiting Borno State, President of the Federal Republic.
Senate President, and they went
elected and sworn to 1999 Constitution as amended, which, says, I will defend you, I will provide for you. Everybody knows that the primary responsibility of every government is the security and welfare of the people. And the president went there for a few hours. And airborne, he went there for a few hours. And somebody was saying, you are fantastic.
Yeah, wonderful.
Just because you want to keep. So these people they can't listen to any advice.
That's all.
It's the governance of it's the kind of government of patronage. Psychophancy.
Right. You take care. You rub my back, I rub your back.
Exactly, psychophancy. Probably prayer will take us out of this logjam.
Hello? Yeah, good afternoon. All right. You're welcome from Gwags, yeah?
Yeah, touching on the current situation of the economy, one of your guests mentioned questions. Is there any light at the end of the tunnel? When we look at the indices on the ground, we see that there does not seem to be any light at the end of the tunnel. Because all the economy.
It truly, really is a challenge, I believe. Now, So Ibrahim Mustafa, because we're having serious challenges with the network, what solutions would you recommend? If you had the ears of the president right now and you are invited to Aso Villa, what would you be telling him? As we currently stand, our jail houses are overcrowded. What you have just said, your advocacy right now will worsen the situation, because if we have, if everybody comes out on the streets and they are handed into the gulags, we may not even have enough space, especially with the fact that one just crashed in Maiduguri. So, do you still believe that's the way to go? Okay, Brian Mustafa, let's leave it there so that some other persons can also make their contribution. Thank you for your wonderful contribution. Thank you. We have serious problems with the output of the phone calls this afternoon, and that's a serious matter. We have, because very solid points have been made by the viewers, but it's not being heard. Okay, so let's continue on this line. Now, if we all have to buy fuel for more, is it not possible for government to be intentional about improving the life of the average Nigeria by intentionally bringing some other form of succor from some other area? Because we can't be increasing fuel price. Electricity tariffs are up. In some people who are praying every day that whatever band or whatever should just be scrapped because of the weight of the rates, and so on and so forth. On every side, the rates are going up. Yet salaries are fairly static. So, shouldn't there be an area where government can at least do something about this?
Well, I think there's an area already, but the disposition of the federal government is the problem, because it seems they didn't even appreciate the level of problem that we have in Nigeria
right now.
So the main thing is that you have come up with CNG. I've just told you the problem CNG is facing. That should be alternative, because I can tell you, if we got CNG right, because it's just flaring, we need to make it wasted. Yeah. So if we can get that right, and virtually every person is actually converted, it will be a good thing. But when federal government says something is ready and you are there and it is not there to be assessed, it becomes a problem. So imagine I need to expend 730,000 to be precise, to convert a car. I am even ready to do the conversion.
Yes.
The place to convert it becomes a problem, and you said that is the alternatives. So why not do that underground work very well? You recall Tinubu gave each state governors 10 billion to work on CNG buses. How many of them do we have?
I've provided
FCT that we are at least used to. How many CNG long buses have you seen on the road? It's a problem. So why don't you unbundle that area and make it what every businessman can actually go out, import the cylinder, get to fix it and do it. You are making it as if it's a very big, new technology. What has been there
in a country where so much subsidy is given to pilgrimages and all kinds of I mean, I'm sorry, I don't want to use the word frivolous. Budget heads. Now, will it be too difficult? Will it be unreasonable that government says, okay, even the conversion of your vehicles, we want to do it for free?
That's my expectation.
It's a one-off thing. It's a one-off thing, isn't it? Once it's done, it's done.
That is my expectation.
It will be a very great incentive.
Right.
Huge.
So for the past 1 year, if you have been converting free for the past 1 year, ideally, how many will you have done now? So you should have done up to 10 million. Right. But now I'm not sure they have able to do 1 million with the free kit for the commercial vehicle. So it's a serious problem. So somebody is not in that disposition to actually make things work in Nigeria, and everything stopped on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's table because these people will actually vote for you. We campaign vigorous for you, and you saw the level of the problem. But
before you came,
but the first day you came, you did not even look at some things. You just say first subsidy is what? It's gone. 3 months thereafter, you said floating of naira. Up till now, if you go to custom, the way they increase the tariff is another problem. So you see that everything. Let's even look at the impact, the negative externalities that will come through from this flooding. Have we appreciated the problem that is going to follow it?
Of course, a serious humanitarian crisis.
Even hunger,
disease outbreak
of subsistence farmers.
That will cost us a lot of money.
I watched a clip today, and I believe I didn't see any title, but I think it was the cows in Maiduguri floating. People were crying when people begin to cry for animals, because that's their life, that's their business.
That is their business.
It was a devastating.
The site is pathetic.
It's washing away, and they are seeing it.
But unfortunately, in Nigeria, we wait for the next tragedy to happen, and then we don't avert anything.
We don't avert anything.
Yes, we just go and take rice, take aid. United Nations donated about $8 million
right now.
Yes,
and
to support victims.
At the end, not
imagine
will be put
that did not happen. That money is being channeled to something productive, and you understand. It's like a wasted effort.
You know, I do have some people who resided. They said, unfortunately, this person stays in GRA, the house submerged. They also have their business in the market. The market also submerged.
So they are zero.
They are starting from zero.
You can imagine.
So you now give them one bag of rice.
One bag of rice.
So their life is about eating.
No. At least there are IDPs where they are being relocated to in the interim.
Is that what they say?
No, interim
for life.
What is for 1 million people? What's the capacity?
Displaced. 1 million. Over 1 million displaced.
Only Maiduguri.
So it's a humanitarian crisis of gargantuan, proportion.
We could look at it from force majeure, maybe act of God, but act of God that have happened before. Why do you allow it? That's what I'm saying. So if you are looking at it from force majeure, now force majeure that have occurred to you, and 30 years back, you know that this dam is having issue, you do not expand it, you do not build a new one, and when these people are opening their dam, they will also announce, we are going to open our dam.
Well, Bode has said that we need to pray. We probably need to pray that someone who will be of a different hue, of a different mentality, who will take on some of these issues as boldly as is possible, as assertively as he has.
And bad governance is a prayer too. Are you aware? And bad governance is a prayer too. It's a prayer too. That movement. There is a different way of praying. Some you say it by your mouth, some you do it by action. So there is a lot of things that you have to do.
Exactly.
It's a complete, and like your last caller actually said, Mustafa. He said there is need for all Nigerians to come out.
That's what he said.
Because it affects virtually every house, except you are in this government.
And that's why I said we don't have enough capacity in our prisons to contain everybody.
Yeah,
because you can predict that the response to that will be that more people will be handed into prison.
That's a failure of security agencies to appreciate the situation. That's why they are clambering people into prisons. These end bad governance promoters who are currently on trial, one of the charges is treason.
Imagine.
So when the protest becomes,
it's unfortunate that they misconstrued end bad governance to end Tinubu's government. It's not true. Governance is different from Tinubu government.
It's two different.
But Tinubu government is responsible for bad governance. But it is being told to stop bad governance. continue in office, do the right
Do
thing.
the right thing.
That's the communication. They didn't even
That
say,
dividing line
they didn't even
is
tell you
lost
to
of
step
government,
down.
apparently.
They said,
No, nobody's calling for change of
bad
government.
Governance.
Because I
Not
believe
end
Tinubu regime.
government or Tinubu regime,
No.
unfortunately, they are also suffering.
Who do you think?
The security agencies, agents, they are also suffering, but they need to obey the last order.
Exactly.
Most of
Kill them, detain them.
Tinubu and his team are agents of protest.
In
And
the past,
they have done it very, very well at different
Interesting.
levels.
In the open.
So it's funny.
It's ironic.
I believe President Tinubu was with the late Chief MK Abiola on June, which date was that? 1993,
93, yeah?
where he declared himself
President.
as president. I want to believe
They were together.
President Tinubu was president before he fled the country.
Yes.
And that was real treason.
Abiola was standing trial for that
And he lost his life
before he
because-
died. President Tinubu ran away.
We will begin to wind down now. We have very few minutes to go. Let's see if we can get a better output. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
This is a little bit better, right? Good afternoon.
Yeah, it's unfortunate I was watching the program. It just feels like this is some of the things we are suffering in our country. I don't even know.
That's an understatement.
I was hearing, we're talking about protest and Tinubu being the master of protest.
Okay. You broken protocol. You've not told us your name. Neither have you told us where you're calling from.
Sorry, my name is Yomi. I'm calling from Delta State.
All right, Yomi. Go ahead.
See, my advice, what I want to tell Nigeria, the government, they have already the right strategy to always disrupt any protest that they want to do. All those people that are throwing Russian flag, you cannot imagine it may be one of the government agents that brought them to go and do that so that they can have a reason to calm down people and say they are beginning to do the protest getting out of hand. So my advice to the people, if they want to protest against this government, everybody should sit at home, just the way they do in the Southeast. With that one, they will not have any reason, they will not see anybody to go and clap down. If they are calling for protest, people should sit in their house. That is the only way they can protest against this bad government.
Yomi, how long can you sit at home? How long?
What will you
eat?
We'll go to our market and see by, or we'll sit at home.
Where will the marketers buy the food from?
When nobody is going out, the police cannot come to your house to come and clamp you down, and the system, they will understand. If you see what's happening in the Southeast, if they tell them to sit at home, for 1 week, nobody comes out. If the government, they see the effect.
Thank you very much, Yomi. You've made your point. Thanks. But there are some things that are not very practicable. There are lots of Nigerians who make money on a daily basis for subsistence. Whenever you shut the system down, it's very terrible on them. Not because they enjoy what is going on, but they have to survive. They have to go get their livelihood every day.
How long are we going to continue for them to continue to impose bad leadership and hardship to the people? If you see what is happening in other countries, when the people want to protest, they are so serious with it that they will force the government to do at least one of their demands. But this government, because they know that your protests will amount to nothing, so they will not even send. So if you spearhead it, they will come and clamp you down, to arrest you, and begin to scare people not to come out to protest. Nigeria needs to do something.
Yomi, we need to let you go so that we can. Yeah, thank you so much for your contributions. The point remains that certain things are not easily practicable. Is making a very sound point, but first of all, you look at your social setting. This is a setting where Fela sang many years back that they will tell you, you will remember that you just marry wife. They will remind you that you have a father at home. They will remind you that you have children. So our system is, I don't know, it's going to take a long time for us to be able to achieve some of the things he's talking about. And the government also understands it. The people in power also understand our weakness and our inability to really talk with one voice.
Yeah.
So they understand all these things, and that's why they're able to do what they're doing. But as far as I'm concerned, I think that there should be more practicable, constructive ways, like we're doing right now, and maybe there should be some elders of thought. There should be some people who, I mean, we've had all kinds of situations in this country, even under the military. So there should be some levels of people within the system who are able to walk up to whoever is in charge and say, look, this is your regime. You have a choice to put your name in gold or to put your name in dishonor, in the hall of dishonor with whatever you do today. I think that we need to come to that point. And unfortunately, some of these voices are not speaking. There are voices that are highly respectable over time. And so many people have been talking about a particular voice that has suddenly gone silent, and they're wondering what exactly is happening. I think that some of these voices need to begin to speak again, because we can't definitely, it hurts when you see that clearly the ship of state is heading dangerously to a ditch, and we don't seem to recognize the very real and present danger. I think that that's where we are. And gentlemen, you may want to begin to give your closing lines. And I'll start with you, Doctor.
Right. I think you recall from what you mentioned, you call there's a patriot. Is it called patriot led by, is it Anyanko?
Okay,
they are actually trying what they are trying. But going forward, I think this government needs to make sure that they have people at heart. And I also want to enjoin Dangote to discover that Nigeria is a country that you can break even in if you really mean business. Because I recall, I saw a headline, Botswana president invites Dangote to come and invest. You know, they're using that as a threat. I say Botswana of 2 million people compared to 200 million people. Million. So when you have us like this, sometimes you need to look at it where, I mean, plan for us whereby you don't make all your profits at once.
Because the market is huge.
Exactly. So Dangote should also consider that why the NNPC should allow Dangote to breathe, to allow him to actually operate, and they should sell to him in Naira, like they say, by October, so that we'll see the reflection of Naira to Naira and how, even I thought they're selling to Naira, Naira is going to be international value at Naira. Right. You know, that's what they're looking. So I think that's a major solution. And more so, the CNG, government need to be proactive, not reactive. And that's my problem with this government. They are always reactive, not proactive. Because 1 year down the line, if you are proactive and you have short-term, long-term, and medium-term plan, you just be implementing. But at every problem, you just bring out solution that could not be, look at solution of 100,000, look at solution of giving palliative, which is not, it's just to hand to mouth in nature. So going forward, I think federal government needs to be intentional to solve Nigeria problem.
Doctor, before you go, you have made so much emphasis on flotation of the Naira.
Right.
Now, you are sitting next to Oluyemi Cardoso.
Right.
What would you be saying to him? And President Tinubu is also seated. So
first his employer is there. I'll tell Cardoso is that he should review the NPR. So what is NPR? The interest rate. You need to see interest. No businessman in Nigeria can go to bank to get a loan to do business because of the interest rate. He's sacrificing growth because he wants to bring down inflation, which is a serious contradiction. That's number one. Number two, in terms of flotation, no country in the world will leave its currency to the hand of global market. No, you must have level of control of that currency. So he must do something and make sure that he reduce that level of flotation. You can't leave it to demand and supply when you don't have production in place or a productive economy. So it should work on that flotation of Naira. It should be controlled, not floated.
Which will bring us to the point of artificial rates again.
What do you mean by artificial rates? What we are saying is that allow manufacturer to access a particular window. Allow Dangote. This Dangote you are saying, let me tell you the secret. If you allow Dangote to access a particular rate in dollar, Dangote will not sell at this price. Because you'll be able to access dollar cheaper and sell to you at a very cheap price considerably. That is the problem. So we must manage it. You can't say global price is what you want to use when you're competing with China, America, UK, and you want to be at the same level of currency. and they want their own currency to better.
Doctor, I said last line, and I thought it was going to be very brief, but I have the temptation. I can't let you go.
Right.
Because we had about 32 items. Is it 32 or 36?
Yes.
That Emefiele put a special window, created a special window.
Exempted.
Exempted from the hash,
yes,
whatever. But we also in this country criticized that very loudly, even while he was in office. And one of the first steps that this government took when the CBN governor was appointed was to remove that window, shut that window.
It's a serious contradiction, because
it's a serious contradiction. We have to go.
All right.
But let's have your last line.
Well, for me, I think the President Bola Tinubu government must come clean as to the implementation of post-fuel subsidy regime. Nigerians must be told the truth. This is how it is, and this is why we need this. Then let them understand that having a private refinery like Dangote does not translate to cheaper fuel. But this is what you are working towards, fuel or energy security.
Will that truth put food on their table? Will it make life easier for them?
Of course. You know why?
Why?
They will brace up
for the reality.
For reality and the challenges ahead. And they will naturally adapt, and life will go on normal. Instead of waking up today to a life of comfort, then tomorrow discomfort, next tomorrow comfort, the fourth day discomfort. No. The galloping is the problem. The instability is the problem. That's
and no investment will come.
Exactly, because there is uncertainty.
And that
uncertainty.
Don't you think that should be backed up with some welfareist program in the interim, at least, if not for too long?
Of course.
The truth is enough to kill some people straight away. The truth you are advocating to be. Some people will just die on the realization that the life is
whatever welfare program you are bringing in must be devoid of fire brigade approach. And that's what the Tinubu government is doing. You understand? If you ask them now, what welfare, whatever do you have in place, they will tell you we are sharing rice. And we have asked civil servants to buy rice 50 kg at 40,000 naira. It's not sustainable.
Viewers, thank you very much for staying tuned to this wonderful station. We're here for you, and you've been there for us. Tomorrow is another day. Right now, we have to draw the curtains. Thank you for being here, and please come over again tomorrow. And I'll be here on Thursday, all things being equal. Thank you so very much. We're out. Bye-bye.